Coach, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so just speaking, bye week was good for us. Got some good advanced work on San Jose State as well as get healthy. So we should expect to have some guys back that haven't been playing the last couple weeks, and it'll be good because San Jose does a good job offensively. Obviously, they're throwing the ball around, putting points up, and then defensively, everything for them is about confusing the offense, and from a bunch of fire zone stuff to from those same looks dropping 8. And so they've got to be great at recognizing those things and doing a great job that way, both up front and at the quarterback position. So it'll be a challenge, there's no question.
Where does the quarterback position stand going into the week?
Yeah, nothing official as far as who's doing what. It's going to be really looking at the best, who gives us the best chance when practice is concluded on Thursday to win the game. Who's handled it the best, that'll be what decides it.
So it's not necessarily Giovanni then on Saturday?
It's not necessarily anything different, but I think whenever you make a change like we did in game, there was a reason, and so we're going to look at what those reasons are, and is Ben or Jabari the best thing that helps us win, or is it still Giovanni? I think we're going to take a good look at that.
How much is Giovanni's health impacting how he's playing at this point?
That's a good question. I couldn't tell you that because it's not like he's out there complaining about it or anything like that. It's just been the last couple weeks, the things he was doing earlier in the year, just the basic simple things haven't been happening for him. And so we got to help him, number one, coaching and continuing to work with him to get him to do those things. But at the same time, if someone's producing at a higher level, then we got to do it just like any other position.
And what does Ben give you that maybe you don't have from someone else on the roster?
Ben's just very cerebral, very smart. He manages the game extremely well. We've seen it in the past when he's been our guy. That's really Ben's strength, is the ability to make other guys around him play faster.
Your running game was a real strength of the team for the first month, 6 weeks or so of the season. Struggled the last couple of weeks. Was that opponent-based, or did you see something that maybe fell off in the execution in the last couple of games in that area?
A little bit opponent-based. I mean, the last two teams we played, UNLV and Cal, are both really strong in the run game. So that's always part of it. And then, we've made some mistakes. We got some checks that we need to make to get us into the right run based on a look that we didn't get. So it's part self-inflicted and part we were playing two pretty good run defenses.
You mentioned earlier maybe getting some guys back after a break. Can you be any more specific about who we might see on Saturday?
Yeah, like just defensively, Thomas Collins being back and Jaden Robinson being two big ones that we'll get back for sure. And so guys like that haven't played in a couple weeks for us that will really help us.
You talked about your philosophy a couple weeks ago on injury notification, which is fine. That's absolutely. But you can talk about availability?
Yeah, I think if a guy's healthy, I have no problem saying they're healthy.
Okay. Yeah. Do you like 2 buys in a season?
Normally I'd say no, but this year, yeah, I think the second bye is very helpful.
Did you do anything different on this buy that you did the first one?
Yes, we did. A lot less, like we didn't go in pads once this bye week. Because this late in the year, guys are at full speed. It's more about health, where after game 4, you were still had to get some good speed and physical practices in.
And did you also hit the road and check things out?
Yep. Got on the road recruiting, and yes, good things are happening that way. So very excited about that.
With San Jose State, last time I checked in on them, their leading receiver, Nick Nash, led the nation in targets. When you're game planning for a guy like that, do you kind of assign one DB to just follow him and leave it an assignment for your best guy, or do you go by committee based on where he lines up?
There are certain defenses where you can do that. There are some where you can't, and so we'll do both. Luckily we've got experience. We went against him last year. He's a really good player, so have an idea of what worked against him, how we can help guys that are on him, because he is a very talented player.
One other quarterback question. In the second quarter, when you brought Ben in, you were alternating quarterbacks for at least for a few series or whatnot. Was that just a spur of the moment decision, and why did you feel like that was just something to get things going? Or
yeah, it was really we were not moving the ball at all. We needed some sort of spark to try to get something going, and so that was kind of why it looked like that.
Is there any chance you'd see that again, or?
I mean, there's always a chance. I mean, they're all three of them are practicing and taking reps, getting themselves ready to play. And then again, it's going to be, is there certain, packages or something where someone gives us a better chance to do these things where we could, keep the defense off balance, then we'll do those things.
Defensively, why are you not getting to the quarterback?
Yeah, that's a good question. We got to do a better job. I mean, we got to win more one-on-one battles. We're just not winning those enough to get to the quarterback. And then that's big thing because we've gotten some looks at the quarterback that we like and protection-wise, and we just got to win those on a more consistent basis. I don't think it's anything, anything more than, it's not a real big, we're so different schematically than say last year when we had a ton of production that way. But yeah, we just got to. Tighter coverage helps, which they've done a decent job, but winning those battles is big. Because there's very few times you're just going to come free, right? Someone's got to win.
3 straight results that are not what the locker room's looking for. What's the mood, the morale of the team, and who is emerging to lead this group at this stage, when things are a little tougher than they were a month ago?
Yeah, there's no question. What I've been impressed with this team and with these guys all year long, and I've mentioned it a bunch, is like there was no anyone hanging their head during practice during the bye week. Guys were excited to practice. They went out there to work to get better. So I don't have any concerns about that part of it. And then we're looking for leaders to step up. And there are guys that are, guys, I use Anthony Hangerson as an example. He's a guy that's stepping into a leadership role. Guys like that aren't necessarily older guys that have been here a long time, but are kind of emerging as new and younger players, which will benefit us in the long run.
What are some of the first most important thing when facing a team that will sling it around as much as they do?
Yeah, making sure you limit the explosive plays. So keeping the ball in front of you, making them have to put long drives together. A lot like, teams like Washington State and teams we've played in the past, that SC, they're looking for those giant explosive plays to move the ball. You make them have to put a 10 to 14 play drive together. Usually they're going to stub their foot. We're going to get a sack. Something's going to happen where we can get the ball back. I think that's probably the biggest thing against these type of offenses.
Coach, they have 14 interceptions. When you look at that, what's that been a function of? That's a high number.
Yeah, I think it's what I said. They do a good job of just making things look the same, and then they're completely different. They're bringing 5 or 6 guys, or they're dropping 8 guys. And so I think that can confuse a quarterback and puts the ball at risk, and that's why they've had the kind of production.
You said recruiting going out on the road has been good. What's the message, and has it been helpful to get the schedule settled and knowing what our future is going forward in the rebuilt Pac-12? How's that message resonating with the guys you're recruiting?
Yeah, the formation of the rebuild of the conference is definitely a positive. We've got a direction. We know where we're going to be. That's definitely helped. And then when you look at the schedule we have next year and the teams we're playing, recruits have been excited about that. So I think there's been a nice job of both those things taking place that have helped kind of jump-started our recruiting a little bit.
Coach, you'd stuck by Giovanni kind of through everything to begin the season. 4-turnover game, a loss to Oregon here, and the UNLV game. You even won a quarter against Cal. What was the decision to pull the plug on that?
I think it was just, you're in game, and then we're not getting what we need out of a position. I think it's no different than any other position. It's time to maybe look at something different in those moments, and then with the bye week, you can examine it a little bit more than you could in a shortened week. So I think those are probably the 2 biggest things.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.